This life really take courage to live. And I'm not just talking about just your own willpower, because even that will fail you. It really take a different kind of courage, and that courage can only come from God. I don't know about you, but life is impossible to live. It's not just hard. It is impossible to live. And if everyone should be honest, they would say that. Because it's crazy. How you can have something that you can be so joyful about or so happy about, because it's two different things. Joy and happy is two different things. And then over here, you can have something that you can just cry about. And sometimes it's both going on at the same time. We live in a fallen and broken world, and we are not immune or exempt from going through pain and suffering and trials and tribulation, whether you save or not. We are not exempt from that. It is the world that we live in. We are dealing with each other, and we are sinful people. Even for the ones that are saved, like myself, saved by grace. And even that, Jesus did not give a false advertisement. He did not say we will not have trouble in this world. Matter of fact, he did say we will have trouble, but to remember that he has overcome. And why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this to remind us as a children of God that when the going get tough, that's not the time to give in or to give up. That is the time for us to truly lock eyes with Jesus. That is the moment when we truly need to think truth. As my Bible teacher would remind us, think truth, speak truth to yourself. Like David would say, encourage yourself. And even share it with others who are struggling. And trust truth. The word of God is truth, and it can be trusted. And I'm saying this because I know that it is not easy to live in this world as a human. I am grateful that I know God. I am grateful that I can get up and I am fully aware of the presence of God. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. So even on the mornings that I get up and I'm just not in a good mood, I can go sit and lay before God, and I can say nothing, or I can say exactly what I'm feeling. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm feeling. See what I'm saying? So we live in this physical world, but it's also a spiritual world. So when the going gets tough, that's not the time to give in or to give up. That is the time for us as the children of God to lock eyes with Jesus. And if you don't know Jesus in the pardon of your sin, I don't even know how you're making it, because it's impossible. And his love is there for you. And he desires for you to give his heart and life over to him so you can lock eyes with Jesus. The word of God reminds us that, I think is in Psalm 16. It said, I have set the Lord before me. I have set him before me. Then in Psalms 121, I lift up my eyes to the one who create everything. And just think about it. If God create everything, what is it that is too hard or difficult or impossible for him to do? Nothing. So when we are going through, we need to lock eyes on Jesus. Open up our word. Put on our praise and worship songs. And sometimes it's not always about doing. Sometimes it's about being. It's a relationship. And he wants to help us. He wants to do life with us. And these are things that I am learning even more and deeper from myself. Because the more and more I'm living for God and living in this broken world, it's the more and more it get harder. But it's so fulfilling and it's so satisfying, because I know that whatever suffering I'm going through, whatever trials I'm facing, I know that God is going to work it out for the good, and he's using it to make me more like Christ. So, people of God, when the going get tough, and it will, it's not when, remember that Jesus is in the storm with you. Remember that he's the same God then, he's the same God now. Remember that there is another in the fire with you. He was with the Hebrew boy. He's with you. He's with I. Remember that he shut the lion's mouth up. Remember that there is no testimony without test. There is no testimony without test. And remember that in order for us to do the work that God desire for us to do, right? We have to go through what we have to go through. Whether we like it or not, adversity is our best teacher. David said, when I was afflicted, it drew him closer to God. Because you and I know, honestly, if everything is going okay, it's so easy to forget about praising God, giving thanks to God, lifting up the name of the Lord. So let us learn from our affliction. Let our affliction, our hurt, our trials, our pain, let us lock eyes with Jesus. Lock eyes with Jesus. And for you who don't know Jesus in the pardon of your sin, he wants to do life with you. He is the way, the truth, and the life. There's no other way to be right with God. There's no other mediator between us and God but Jesus Christ. While you and I were still sinner, Christ died for us. He was fully God, fully man, walked this earth. Right? God, your creator, walked this earth, and he desires to have a relationship with you. Love is best experienced in relationship. I was reminded of that. Love is best experienced between relationship. We are more precious and valuable than anything else God created. He loves you. He loves me. Blessings.